what I want to do with this set of videos is use them as a kind of video Bible lessons to be able to give you a basic idea of what the Bible is about. In this set of videos, which will be in 2 parts, I want to go over the great themes of the beginning of the Bible and the end of the Bible. I want to take you and show you how Genesis, the first 3 chapters, and Revelation, the last 3 chapters, that there's symmetry, that they're very much a mirror of each other, and yet in Revelation we have even a greater, enhanced version of what we had in the beginning. I hope by doing this that it will help you to understand what the Bible is about. What I've done is I've given you also a link to my notes that I'm going to be using, which are right here, and I'm using these notes to kind of help me go back and forth between the 2 ends of the Bible, so I can move fastly through this video and I don't have to go back and forth through the Bible. But I want to show you how there are a great many themes, again, that are similar. Why I call this Paradise Lost and Paradise Restored is because that's really what the Bible is about. It's about the fact that man was in paradise and that man fell from paradise, that he was exiled from paradise, and he is exiled until God completes and accomplishes his plan, and he is once again restored to God. So the first great theme we find in Genesis is the whole idea of creation. We find the creation theme in both Genesis and in Revelation. What we have is we have a creation that God creates the heaven, and he creates the earth, and he creates everything. Genesis 1 goes through that. Genesis 2 gives us a little synopsis in verses 1 through 4. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. The 7th day God had finished the work he had been doing, so on the 7th day he rested from all his work. And God blessed the 7th day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. This is the account, and he says, of the heavens and the earth when they were created. Now, in Revelation, in chapter 21, which is the end of the book of Revelation, second to the last chapter, we have we see a new creation. We see a new heavens and a new earth. Revelation 21:1 says, "Then I saw a new heavens and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea." So there's that whole creation, new creation theme. The next thing I want to look at is the whole paradise theme. We have, obviously, in Genesis, we have the Garden of Eden. You can go to Genesis 2, and you can see that God created paradise. He placed man in paradise. That's 2:8. In chapter 3, verse 8, we have God walking in the garden there amongst them. So God is with Adam and Eve in the garden. There's paradise because that's where God is. In Revelation 22, there's a city paradise. This new Jerusalem that is coming down out of heaven in chapter 21 and 22. And notice that, well, Jerusalem means in the Hebrew city of peace. And this place is where God dwells with man. He says, "I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband." And then he goes on to say later in 3, "Now the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be their God." So that's another great theme, is the whole paradise. It goes from a garden paradise to a city paradise. The next theme we see is these great water themes. We see both that there is a spring or mist that comes out of the ground in Genesis 2:5, and it gives water to everything on the earth. So it says, and no shrub of the field had yet appeared on the earth, and no plant of the field had yet sprung up. For the Lord God had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no man to work the ground, but streams came up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground. Some translations will say mist. So we have it coming up out of the ground. In Revelation, we have the same kind of theme, but we see that it's Christ who gives this water. We see this spring. Some translations will say fountain that gives drink to the thirsty. It says that he said to me, "It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To him who is thirsty I will give to drink without cost from the spring of the water of life." Again, more of this water theme, which, by the way, water is so important in ancient world. It sustained life. Often big cities will crop up along the place where rivers were. They would, like the ancient Egyptians, the Nile River. I mean, it gave life to them. And the Babylonians on the Euphrates and Tigris rivers, there would be great wheat fields and things like in Egypt. So it was very important. They needed this water. This water gave them not only the subsistence for them, their cattle, and gave life to all the plant life. So here we have a river that is flowing out of the Garden of Eden, and it's separated. It flows through, and it was watering the Garden of Eden. It says this is in Genesis 2:10 to 14 if you want to read it. But it's then splits into four rivers, and this flows from the garden to the entire world. In Revelation 22, we see the same river, or another river, actually. This river that flows from the throne of God, and it flows through the garden, and it waters the tree of life, and then the tree of life gives, its leaves give healing to the nations. So the same kind of imagery of it going out. It says, "The angel showed me the river of the water of life, as clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb, down the middle of the great street of the city. And on each side of the river stood the tree of life, bearing 12 crops of fruit, yielding its fruit every month. And the leaves of the trees are for the healing of the nations." Another great theme is the whole riches are there in paradise, there in Genesis. If you go to Genesis 2:11, you have gold and precious stones which are seen there. And you see that river that's flowing, the Pishon River, and it winds through the entire land of Havilah. It says, where there is gold. And the gold of the land is good. It says pearls, some translations will say pearls, and onyx are also there. The same prosperity theme that we see there, the riches, are also seen in Revelation 21, in 18 to 21. There are better riches there, and there are more precious stones in the paradise city. There is so many of them that the city is actually built out of them. I mean, go read I'll read the description. Look at the wall was made of jasper, and the city of pure gold, as pure as glass. The foundations of the city walls were decorated with every kind of precious stone. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, the fourth emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth chameleon, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprase, the 11th jacinth, and the 12th amethyst. The 12 gates were on the 12 gates were 12 pearls, each gate made of a single pearl. And the great street of the city was pure gold, like transparent glass. So that theme that there's riches, there's prosperity where God is, where in paradise, there's no lack, So and there's abundance in at least in paradise restored.